Remember, folks, we claim no rights to anything except our own likenesses.
Everything else is copyrighted by Hasbro, the Hub, and anybody who can afford a lawyer that can turn us into chum.
The funny thing starts after we start the review, you idiot!
Elements of Harmony. See Mare and the Moon? But that's just an old pony's tale. She will bring about nighttime eternal. It's imperative that the princess is told right away. I knew she would want to take immediate action.
My dear Twilight, there is more to a young pony's life than studying. Make some friends!
All the ponies in this town are crazy! I hope the princess was right. She's gone! Oh no! Nightmare Moon!
Hey there, you're probably wondering about the hardware. Well, after Nightmare Moon kind of trolled our last video, we kind of felt we had to make sure that everything was secure and all that.
Perimeter secure.
Yeah. So, yeah, yeah. Well, as you've seen, the last episode was all about introducing the main six and their various, character archetypes. This next part is actually all about what makes them special. What makes them deserve to be the main characters. Some I think they hit it on the head, others I think they were a little pushing it. Pushing it, it's more like. Yeah. So let's get started with part 2 of Friendship is Magic. Yeah, I know I called it Elements of Harmony in the last video. I got the name wrong. Sue me! So yeah.
Okay, so far everything's in a handbasket ready to be shipped to hell. And the only pony who has any idea what's going on is Twilight Sparkle. Although she's a little in the dark herself as to what's going on. One thing she does know, she needs the Elements of Harmony, which she has no idea where to find. And her new acquaintances are not exactly ready to make that easy for her right now.
Are you a spy? Whoa!
Simmer down, Sally. She ain't no spy. But she sure knows what's going on. Don't you, Twilight?
Twilight explains that the Elements of Harmony may be the only thing that can stop Nightmare Moon. The one problem is, she doesn't know exactly what the elements are, or even where they are. And it's a big problem. Luckily, we have one thing. Q2X Pinkie Pie!
The Elements of Harmony, a reference guide. How did you find that? It was under E!
So as it turns out, there's 6 Elements of Harmony. Only 5 are known, though. And those 5 being
kindness, laughter, generosity, honesty, and loyalty.
And while that's the good news, the bad news is that the elements are currently in the previous royal castle, which is now found in the worst place imaginable for these ponies, the Everfree Forest. Normally, in our perspective, it would be like a normal forest to us, but to them, beings who are normally in such tune with nature as to, say, maybe control it to a degree, let's just say that being in an area that is outside of any form of control is also way outside of their comfort zone.
Unfortunately, they really have to pass through it, and Nightmare Moon takes advantage of their fear through a series of challenges, which actually shows the pony's individual strengths, starting with Applejack.
Hold on! I'm a-coming! Applejack, what do I do? Let go.
Are you crazy?
No, I ain't. I promise you'll be safe.
That's not true!
Now listen here. What I'm saying to you is the honest truth. Let go, and you'll be safe.
Not so much a leap of faith as a drop of faith, wouldn't you say?
Yep.
Well, now that that hair racing situation is out of the way,
We get another one.
Oh, and
with teeth this time.
and claws.
And one hell of a tail.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are about to meet a Manticore!
And like with most snarling monsters, they get treated with exactly the same proportion of violence. The ponies start charging in head first, trying to beat the savage monster, her into submission. However, it is proving unsuccessful. Until...
Wait. Yeehaw! Get along, little doggy. Wait.
All yours, partner.
I'm on it. Wait.
Rainbow!
That was Fluttershy, wasn't it?
Yep.
Wow.
Always the quiet ones.
Always. Nice little lungs, too. Sheesh.
Oh, you poor, poor little baby.
Little?
Now, this might hurt for just a second.
Fluttershy!
Oh, you're just a little old baby kitty, aren't you? Yes, you are. Yes, you are.
If that's a baby, I'm afraid to see what the mother is.
Me too. But, yeah, Fluttershy proved that she can tame animals of almost all sizes, really. Even one as big as the one you were just looking at. As for the thorn itself, it turns out it was, yet again, Nightmare Moon just trying to impede their progress. I mean, she obviously doesn't want them to find the elements. But the next thing they know, they're traveling through a dank, dark, and misty forest, where this time Nightmare Moon decides to try little scare tactics with some scary but ultimately harmless trees. Still, they freak out most of the ponies, except Pinkie Pie.
Who's already got a marvelous defense mechanism.
And boy, what a defense mechanism. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, our very first song in the entire series.
When I was a little filly and the sun was going down.
Tell me she's not.
The darkness and the shadows, they would always make me frown.
She is.
I'd hide under my pillow from what I thought I saw. But Grammy Pie said that wasn't the way to deal with fears at all.
Then what is?
She said, Pinkie, you gotta stand up tall. Learn to face your fears. You'll see that they can't hurt you. Just laugh to make them disappear. Ha, ha, ha. So giggle at the ghostly, guffaw at the grossly, crack up at the creepy, whoop it up with the weepy, chortle at the kooky, snortle at the spooky. I can tell that big dumb scary face to take a hike and leave you alone. And if he thinks he can scare you, then he's got another thing coming. And the very idea of such a thing just makes you wanna
Laughter truly is the greatest magic there is. Although it does still have some disadvantages, like the fact that there are some things you really shouldn't laugh at. Like a guy who suddenly lost half his mustache. Like this poor fellow here. Although, thankfully, all he really needs is one generous act. Like so.
Ow! What did you do that for?
Rarity, what are you...
My moustache! How wonderful!
the choreography.
Now all he needs is a good styling and dyeing, and it'll match up just fine. So he helps the ponies across the river, and they come to a ravine just on the edge of the Palace of the Sisters. However, the bridge to it is broken out. Luckily, Rainbow Dash is there to help fly it over and tie it up again. Unfortunately, yet again, Nightmare Moon has another little trick up her sleeve when she comes in disguised as something called the Shadow Bolts, supposedly the best flyers in all of the Everfree Forest. They want Rainbow Dash to be their leader. One catch: she has to give up on her friends. And what does Rainbow Dash say about this?
Thank you for the offer, I mean. But I'm afraid I have to say no.
Well, at least the old Nightmare gave it her best.
Unfortunately, it looks like Rainbow Dash was more interested in helping her friends than in her own needs.
Now that's loyalty.
Speaking of, it seems pretty clear that each of these ponies has the exact same quality as each of the elements of harmony, but that just leaves a sixth. Well, it turns out that one is Twilight. I mean, come on now. After a quick battle with Nightmare Moon, it turns out that, well, Twilight represents the sixth element, which is magic. I mean, come on, think about it. Besides Celestia, who can you think of who has the most magic of all the unicorns? And it gets into one epicness where basically the elements choose their new owners and, well...
I'm a foreign...
Speed!
What the hell was that for?
What? You butchered the shoop-de-whoop!
Like it's my fault we couldn't get the actual footage.
And seriously, putting in an internet meme?
Well, you got the bison one.
Touché. Anyway, the point is, the Friendship is Magic spell turns Luna back to normal. Celestia picks that time to come in and explain that she knew this was going to happen all along. Who knew?
And now, Princess Luna.
It has been 1,000 years since I have seen you like this. Time to put our differences behind us. We were meant to rule together, little sister.
Sister?
Will you accept my friendship?
I'm so sorry. I missed you so much, big sister.
I've missed you too.
Hey! You know what this calls for?
A party! That's Pinkie Pie for you.
She never fails.
That, of course, leads into the Star Wars-esque ending sequence, where Luna is reaccepted as a princess, yada yada yada. But then we get into the basic premise of the series as a whole.
And what is going to ensure the plot for the rest of the series.
Spike, take a note, please. I, Princess Celestia, hereby decree that the unicorn Twilight Sparkle shall take on a new mission for Equestria. She must continue to study the magic of friendship. She must report to me her findings from her new home in Ponyville.
Oh, thank you, Princess Celestia. I'll study harder than ever before.
And that leads into the Tara Strong jokes that I mentioned earlier, how they basically played up the whole friendship note thing. So yeah, that's the first 2 episodes, and overall, we're rating this between 1 and 6 for each of the 6 main.
And so far, we decided to give it a generous 5. And after all, it kind of does set the bar pretty well. I mean, it's not the greatest episode, but it does give you plenty of stuff to give you an idea to be interested.
What really knocks it down a point or two for me is how generic Nightmare Moon is. But as Steve said, she's meant to be because she's only in for these 2 episodes. After that, it's back to Princess Luna.
And she's only ever mentioned in passing or to denote moments of extreme fear.
At least for the first season. So yeah, that was the first episode, and we'll be getting into the second, This was the second episode. We'll be getting into the 3rd episode soon enough. Until then, see you around.
Sayonara, people.